and welcome to a very special interview with a very special man. I've admired Justin Langer for a long time. If you've watched him play, you will know one word defined him, and that is resilience. Doggedness, determination, commitment, passion, and resilience. When Australian cricket was undergoing a trough after Sandpaper Gate, he's the man who took it out of this trough and took Australian cricket to a different level. And it added to our respect for the man. And now, then, as coach of Australia, world titles. As a player, best in the world. And now, as coach of Lucknow Super Giants, he's done what he's done for the IPL. Now, plenty of questions to ask, coach. Coach, first things first, I've got to ask you. I mean, were you bothered seeing those visuals, your owner and your captain? Because everybody wants to ask you that question. I know you've said it's a storm in a teacup, but were you bothered? And can you tell me about it?
One, I was so surprised by the reaction. It was incredible. And I've thought about this a lot over the last 4 days. You know, there's not very many surprises in life. So one of the surprises, I've had 4 surprises in my life, and they were the 4 sexes of my daughters when they were born, because I had no idea. And then when they kept coming out, oh, it's a girl. And then it's a girl. It's a girl. 4 girls, but we didn't know leading up to it. So it was a great surprise. Okay? So when I saw that reaction the other night, it was like one of the 5th surprise of my life. Because anyone who knows Mr. Goenka or anyone who knows KL Rahul, they are the calmest, most peaceful men on the planet. So when I saw there was a bit of arms going on about, I thought, whoa, I've never seen this before, because they're both so calm. But then when I went and listened to the conversation, it was just the passion and the gesturing which looked. But actually, they were just talking about where our plan went wrong for the game. And it went wrong. We had a really bad game. Travis Head, the openers for Sunrisers were brilliant. Boovie bowled beautifully to us early, and they beat us really well. And actually, the conversation, that's the funny thing about this, what happened, or the aftermath of what happened. Look, no one knew what was said. And I was like, I'm so surprised, like the birth of my daughters, because I was actually heard what was said, and it was all about the plan of our game and where it went wrong. There's a bit of cricket talk. So in a lot of ways, I'm laughing about it. And we're all very, I mean, it's been such an awesome relationship so far between Mr. Goenka and Shashwat, his son, and KL and myself. It's been brilliant. It's been so chilled out. It's been so zenned out. So I was surprised by the reaction.
So tell me something, coach. I mean, are you telling me that you've got complete freedom as far as the management is concerned in terms of making your team and taking your calls, and there's been no sort of interference from the ownership?
Not once. Zero. That's what when I came to the IPL, one of the things that I heard about, and this is my first year with the IPL. So, and I heard about lots of talks about, you know, the owners getting involved in selection and this and this. That's not my experience. Not once. 0 times. It's been incredible. Every day, the truth is, every day that we did it this morning or at 12:30 today, KL and I meet with Mr. Goenka and Shashwat, his son, and they said, so what are you guys thinking today? And we say, this is what we're thinking, and this is our plan. And he goes, and he might ask a few little questions, or I've heard this about what might be happening. And then we have a discussion, and he goes, okay, well done, good luck. That's it. Every time. So it's been really refreshing. It's been it is a great relationship. Only an hour ago, we were meeting and talking about our plans to try and beat Delhi Capitals. And it's been great. In fact, I've been surprised by how many times Mr. Goenka says to me, you know, I don't know much about cricket, but this is what I'm thinking, or this is what I might be seeing or hearing. What do you think? So it's brilliant. It's like the teachers telling the student about the game. It's beautiful. It's been a great relationship so far. There's been zero experience since I've been here of any stress with the owner.
So KL Rahul is in a perfect state of mind, mentally at least, going into the game?
Yes, of course. His performances this year, I think we've had 2 bad games, or particularly 2 bad games in the last 2 games, and we need to remedy that today. But he's in a great frame of mind. I think he's led the team incredibly well under pressure. Like, it's funny, because a lot of people want to point the finger at the captain, but look at these high scores this year in this IPL. Every captain, I was only smiling to myself against CSK the other night. The great captain MS Dhoni. I know he's not titled captain this year, but when Gill and Gujarat were going the other night and they scored 220. At one stage, they could have scored 250. And I'm looking, and even I think MS Dhoni must have been scratching his head, go, what do we do here? The point is all the captains are under a lot of pressure. It's a very tough job. And I think KL's done a good job. He compartmentalizes really well. He bats and then he captains the side, and he's in a good state of mind. He seems pretty relaxed. We had a few days off after the last game. He's been home to Bangalore, seen his family, seen a few of his friends, which you have to do during these long IPLs. He's in a relaxed frame of mind. We're hoping he scores lots of runs today.
And coach, clearly, I mean, you've dealt with the Australian team under pressure. You are now dealing with this team under pressure. Your captain clearly will be under pressure because 2 good games and you're through to the playoffs. How does KL Rahul deal with pressure, and how does Justin Langer help him do that?
Well, on the first hand, one thing one of my really strong observations of the IPL and being in India is how much pressure the Indian players are under. A lot of people talk, they say they're making a lot of money and they are under so much. You know why? Because there's so much talent in this country. There is so much talent in this country. It's blowing me away. So my point is about KL Rahul. How's he going to handle the pressure of today? You don't make so many runs and you don't be the captain and you don't captain India and you don't be vice captain of India unless you are the master of dealing with pressure. So KL's the master of dealing with pressure. He'll be looking forward to batting today. And I just watch. Sometimes what I've learned is that leadership can be a really lonely position. It's a really tough position. So therefore, we talk cricket, we talk about life, and sometimes it's nice to talk to people who have walked in your shoes, because lots of people have an opinion who haven't walked in your shoes before. So it's nice to sometimes have those conversations. But he's in a really relaxed state. He's looking forward to this afternoon.
Let me ask you one critical one. Justin Langer, clearly from what I know from the Lucknow Super Giants, they are looking at you as coach long term. There is an India coaching job on the line. Will Justin Langer put his hat in the ring for that as well? Lucknow, India. What are you planning to do, coach? Don't give me a politically correct answer. What's your thought? Are you going to be with Lucknow? Will you try India as well?
Well, one thing, and I mentioned this yesterday in an interview, that when you coach the country, it is all encompassing. It is, and you look over time. It's there's probably a time frame of 3, 2, 3, 4 years, because it's all encompassing, and particularly now with T20 cricket, one-day cricket, Test cricket, it's a full-on job. I mean, my first year of coaching Australia, I was away from home 300 days of the year. So it's a very difficult job, and you've got to be absolutely in the mindset. I had 2 years away from coaching, and I really enjoyed that because I had some more time on my hands. And we go to this current question about the IPL, and I know we talked before this interview, we'd talk about, I have loved every single minute of the IPL. It's no fun losing. It's more fun winning than losing, right? That's reality. But I've loved every minute of the IPL. It is an extraordinary competition. And you come here and the pressure's on from all angles, but I've loved it. I mean, it's the LSG are like a big family, and you hear that a lot with the franchise teams. There's a knack to doing that when you're only together 8 weeks, but I've loved it. I've loved every single second of being with Lucknow Super Giants. In fact, from the moment I met Mr. Goenka in London back in July to now, I've literally, it's been so much fun. I've enjoyed it. We understand the stress. So I'm very keen to stay coaching LSG for as long as possible.
Oh, that's a very clear-cut answer, and I get your point, because I've spoken to Rahul Dravid about it, and young families. I mean, all of you, we have the same generation. We all have young families, and I absolutely understand how difficult it is to stay away from the family for 300 days of the year. You don't even know your children growing up. You don't even see them, and all of a sudden things have sort of gone out of our control, and we see kids growing up. So I totally
And
get
I'll
your
go one step further. I'll go one step further. That's only one of the stresses. When you coach the country, like if you coach a stateside back home or a BBL franchise or a franchise team, you have, in this case, 1/10 of the population who are barracking for you. When you coach India or Australia, you have the whole country behind you. So if you win, you have the whole country. So if you lose, the whole country goes into mourning. So that's that pressure as well. You also have this great expectation when you're coaching the country. You have this great expectation from not only the fans but the media, and the scrutiny is very, very intense, and you've got to have your batteries fully charged if you're going to coach international team. So the next coach of India, whoever that might be, they must have their batteries fully charged, because when you get into that hot seat, you know you're alive.
I get you, because clearly when a country hasn't won an ICC event in 11 years, and with a 1.4 billion population starved of winning, we will incessantly keep coming like relentless people. So I totally get your point. Tell me something, coach. I mean, clearly in this IPL, we've seen T20 cricket kind of evolve to the next level with scores, with batting, with 250. You alluded to what MS Dhoni might be thinking. And when you then see someone like a KL Rahul, more conventional, how does one adapt? I mean, is it the one formula now, or is it defensive batting that is also necessary? How do you look at it? I mean, should it be hammer and tongs? Virat Kohli, for example, got a lot of flack in the initial part of the tournament for his strike rate. Look at him now. He's one of the reasons why RCB is still in contention. How does Justin Langer look at this?
Right, I think that word adaptability is a crucial word in high performance. I always believe that people say, how do you go from Test cricket to one-day cricket to T20 cricket? How do players do that? And my answer is always instant. The best players do it. And it's just an adaptation of mindset. Now, there's not one formula fits all here. I mean, at Lucknow, for example, we play on a very big ground, and it's been a brilliant competitive wicket between bat and ball. And in my opinion, that's the best cricket, whether it's in white ball cricket, red ball cricket, you're wearing whites, you're wearing colours. The cricket pitches we play on are critical, that there's a balance between bat and ball. Some of the pitches we've seen here, clearly, there has been a change in mindset of some, like the Fraser McGurks and the Travis Heads and the Sunil Narayans and some of these guys at the top of the order. There's been a change, and that's been fascinating to watch. But they can get away with that generally on wickets which are more batter friendly than bowler friendly. But they've done it brilliantly. It's been extraordinary to watch. I go back to the Sri Lankans back in 25 years ago when the game evolved and their openers came out and just they went, and it changed how everyone thought about the game. It was brilliant. And we're seeing that now, and I love the evolution of the game. And if you look at what's happening in this tournament, KKR with Phil Salt and Narayan at the top, they're getting off to explosive starts with Travis Head and
Abhishek Sharma
at the top of the order. They're getting off to flying starts. Delhi's fortunes changed when Fraser McGurk came in, and his strike rate is like 245. I mean, this is incredible batting. So it's changed. So I think everyone's looking at that now and say, okay, how can we be more aggressive? Because the power plays are so important. In my mind, if you took 3 wickets in the power play, you're always ahead of the game. But what's actually happening now, it's not just about taking the wickets, it's the strike rate. So the game's evolving, and I think the impact player has a big part to play in this, because there's freedom of mindset, and teams are saying, okay, go out and get as many runs as you can in the first 6 overs. We'll risk getting a few wickets because we have the extra batsmen down the order. So it's been great to watch, and this is the brilliant thing about the game of cricket. It keeps evolving. It keeps evolving. And there's an old saying, what the butterfly sees is at the end of the world, what the caterpillar sees as the end of the world, the master sees as the butterfly. In other words, if you stay the caterpillar and you don't keep evolving, you just die. You've got to keep getting better and keep flying and keep evolving and adapting and getting better. And if you do that, you'll survive as an individual and as a team.
Last question, coach. And this I ask you, you were the best test team in the world. You won multiple world championships. We've been struggling for the last 11 years. Do you reckon, having coached an IPL team, having seen Indian talent, hand on heart, do you think India will be competitive in the World T20? And what do you think is going wrong? Do we not take pressure well like the Australians do?
I don't think it's about not taking pressure well. What I think about is I can feel it. The pressure builds so it's tangible because there's so much. Indian cricket fans and are so passionate about the game. They so want to win that you can just feel it. I mean, we felt it here at LSG. We won a few games on the trot. We're starting to look, if we beat Sunrisers, we go to third, and you could feel this pressure building from all round. You could just feel it. So I can't imagine the pressure that's built within the Indian team. The trick is, and that's why coaching the Indian international team would be such an incredible project, because it's not about talent, but it's about working out how to release the pressure in the big tournaments, the big moments. And there's other countries who are having the same issues. But Australia, what I've learned about the Australian psyche over years, over 30 years, is that whilst we are so serious about winning every game we play, when you walk off the field, I mentioned it's like being in a nightclub the whole time. It is so much fun, and we almost have learned a way, instead of building the pressure, we've learned how to release the pressure over time. And that's important. You want to win big titles when it comes to the crunch matches, when it comes to the finals, when it comes to the semi-finals. Players have to be relaxed. They have to be happy. They have to be relaxed because there's enough pressure already. So that's, to me, the biggest key to unlocking for teams to be successful in the big tournaments like Australia, is unlocking the pressure valve, releasing the pressure valve, not on the field. That's always there, off the field. That to me is the puzzle that needs to be solved to win titles regularly.
I'll end there, coach, with a request. You just said the Australian dressing room is like a nightclub. Win today, and that can get KL Rahul and Sanjiv Goenka and Shashwat into that dressing room and create a nightclub-like atmosphere and put it out on social media. Trust you me. The whole
I love that. I love that. We'll do some Bollywood dancing. We'll do some bowling. We'll have the music. Everyone will be smiling. But just remember this.
KL Rahul do that. Trust you me. KL Rahul on one side and Mr. Goenka with a high five and Justin Langer in the middle doing that. Wonderful.
What you need to so this is a first for you right here. Behind closed doors in LSG, it's like that. We're dancing, we're smiling, we're having fun. Maybe not Bollywood moves. I'm not too good at the Bollywood moves yet, but there's lots of dance, there's lots of fun. So what you saw the other night is, I go back to the first question. It was such a surprise because everyone's been getting on so well here. And, so we're dancing behind closed doors, don't worry.
2 games, 2 wins. You have your fate in your own hands. All the very best to you, Justin Langer. May the best team win, but we know what you can do as a player and coach. So LSG, all the very best to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
What is the right time? Walk when it's great to crawl. Play when it's great to write. What is the right time? To be a born talent. To be a future champion. To walk alone. Playing under 16 at 12. Facing 20,000 balls with a half-grown spine. What is the right time? Too little to be selected. Too talented to be rejected. The papers, selectors all asking, what is the right time? The right time, it's when you do it. They say you're too young to play, but you're always old enough to dream.
Don't worry about what the future will look like. Just prepare for it. Fearless plans from Aegis Federal Life Insurance help you and your family prepare for the future.